Why do we have children? Why do we have children? What's the reason we have children?
Hashem told us to.
I mean,
To
lots of people also have children. Shem didn't tell
bring more das into the world.
what?
To bring people that have das into the world, which Hashem wants.
That's what we do with the children. But we have children.
Emulate.
There's no reason why
Maybe.
there's no reason why we get married. These are ends unto themselves. Having children is an end. Being married is an end. See, we make such a mistake thinking that marriage, we're trying to get something out of marriage. I want to actualize myself. I want to. The marriage is the end. The point of marriage is marriage. That's what it's about. It's about the marriage. It's not about me getting something from the marriage. It's about me giving to the marriage because the marriage is the end. Same with the children. That's the whole concept of klipa. The minute something becomes a means to an end, it's called klipa and sitra achra. And in truth, according to the lexicon of the Tanya, you hate it. If you're married to your wife because you want something from her, and it doesn't have to be something like so grubby as, physicality or money. It could be, I want love, or I want to actualize myself. I want to become the man I can, I know that I can become. Yeah. She is on a very conceptual level has become klipa and sitra achra in your life. She's become a means to an end, and that's what Hashem hates.
So how would you change that?
How would you change? How would you be involved in a relationship with your wife as an end unto itself?
Yeah, let's say that you originally you got married because you wanted something from her.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And now you realize that you want to raise it to another level. How do you now change the ikr of why you married her to that level, to be that level in it, to be the end instead of the means?
So that's based primarily on learning. Primarily on learning the concept of what the mitzvahs are, what the mitzvah of marriage actually is, the concept of a mitzvah. And once we've got that and once we understand also what a person actually is, because a person is something, when you actually understand the person, I'll tell you, there's an interesting, one of my best friends growing up, yeah, his dad is now going through, it's not Alzheimer's, but it's something like that, basically. It's a degenerative mind thing. Yeah. Gabriel's going through the same thing as well. So what happened is that his father is going down and down and down, and his mother is dedicated to him literally 24/7. Like, my parents can't believe it, like how this woman is just absolutely dedicated to her husband. And that's because they are truly married. He's lost his intellect, he's lost his emotions, he's lost his behavior. All of the externalities of who he is are gone. There's just the person left. Now that's once we understand what a person actually is. See, I see, like, Michael, you're looking like with your eyes squinted a little bit. Like this is a chiddush. What is a person? A person isn't an intellect. We've been given an amazing raya to that in 2024. How do we know that a person isn't an intellect anymore? For sure. AI.
There's artificial, yeah.
Biduk. I sat there, I had a conversation with the AI the other day in front of my kids, and it was, we had a wonderful, lovely conversation. Harai, that's not the person. The person isn't the intellect. And if the person isn't the intellect, for sure the person isn't the emotions. Emotions come and go, and then for sure, the person isn't their behavior. See, once we get this clear what a person is, you realize how freeing that is, the way that you can actually love your children. The lowest level is to understand that your children aren't their behavior. That you have to do. That you're forced into doing just to maintain sanity. You have to remember that your kids are not their behavior. Because if your kids are their behavior, then there's no, we're all in trouble. Yeah, so we're forced to create a separation between our children and their behavior. But as we learn deeper into Hasidus, we'll realize that our children aren't even their emotions. And as we learn deeper into Hasidus, we'll understand that our children aren't even their intellect. And as we go deeper into Hasidus, we'll actually get to the core of who the child is. And there's nothing to say about that. That's the person. There's nothing to talk about that. It just is. Once we get this very, very clear, then it makes then the relationship starts to actually, then the relationship we can have with our wives can start to be the relationship that we're talking about here, not dependent. Kozman, we're caught up in intellect, emotions, or behavior. That's called an avatalui bedava. That's a love that is dependent on something. And that's the beginning, that you have to get to it through that. Okay, but we have to, the goal is to get to marriage, means number one, to appreciate the mitzvah of marriage is the goal. And what's the hiddah of the mitzvah of marriage? How we makayim the mitzvah of marriage once we actually get married. The hiddah of the mitzvah is not really right to say the hiddah because it's more than that. But you could say it like that. What's the hiddah of the mitzvah of Ksuba and of Nisurin?
You give her.
What?
To be in a constant state of giving, of what can I do for the other?
I call that shalom bias.
Seeking amidos.
Shalom bias is the hidden mitzvah of marriage.
Not ceasefire.
Kedushin, what?
Not ceasefire.
Yeah, not ceasefire. Ceasefire is just necessary. Although sometimes shalom bias thrives without a ceasefire. Sometimes a ceasefire can be terrible. Sometimes when a person is bound up in themselves and they're in marriage for themselves, and let's say the guy's a good guy, but it's all about being a good husband. It's not about the wife. We've spoken about this so much. So the he's doing everything right. You look on paper, it looks like the perfect marriage. The guy never says anything wrong. He gives the compliment when he needs to give the compliment. He puts his dirty socks in the laundry basket. He pays the mortgage. He's nice with the kids. But it's all about him being the best husband. So the wife feels utterly alone because she's just a means to an end. Because without her, he wouldn't be able to be the best husband. She's just allowing him to be the best husband. It's not about her. You hear that?
So what's the solution? He has to take himself out of the picture completely?
Look, we have to learn these books. You have to learn Tanya. You have to mamash. I don't know another way. I really don't know another way. And I'm not a Lubavitcher. I'm not like banging people on the head with this book. I just don't know another way that just explains it. And even this book doesn't explain it clearly. It's the Messiah. It's having a Rebbe who understands these ideas, giving them over, that gives you access into these ideas. The book itself was very closed. The book itself is a very closed book. But the point is that we can, if we can start appreciating what a person actually is, yeah, and start appreciating what in context of our wife, and start peeling away through the intellect and through the emotions, and it comes out when your wife's annoying, yeah, and everyone has this problem. Their wife can be annoying, yeah. This is the perfect opportunity to break through these outer layers of the person and attach yourself to the person, because the person isn't annoying. Her way of thinking is annoying. Her emotions are annoying. She's not annoying. She just is. You can't say anything about that. That's perfect. That's not annoying. So it's in those states, and it's, I'll tell you, just as another very important point with chinuch, yeah, when everyone has that difficult child, yeah, some people have more than one, some people only have difficult children, but when you got that one difficult child, let's just say, yeah, who's really pushing you to love them. To love them is really difficult, yeah. They're obnoxious, they're rude, yeah. And then you've got these other angelic children. Let's paint the scenario. So, Kozman, your children are very well behaved. They don't know that your love is not dependent on something because they're really well behaved. Why wouldn't you love them? They're lovely, good kids and they're doing the right thing. So you love them just like you'd love your next door neighbor's children if they were also really nice. So how do they know that your love for them is not dependent on something? It's through your relationship with that difficult child. That shows them, that proves to them that your love for them is also true. Because if you're loving this kid who's unlovable, and the word love is not the right word, but if you're with the kid, if you're the love and the higher level of love, let's just talk about the high. It's complicated. There's two levels of love, but let's just say love for just to make it easy right now. Yeah, that if you can maintain love for this child who is not being lovable, then everybody else in the family realizes that your love for them is not dependent on anything. And that was the difference, as we've said many times, that was the difference between Hashem's relationship with Noach and Hashem's relationship with Abraham. Because Hashem says to Noach, when the Torah introduces Noach, it says, Ish Elokim, Mishalech Hashem, Tamim Tzadik B'Doyer. It gives three big shvachim of Noach. Abraham, it just says, Lech Lecha. Go for yourself. Go to yourself. Because the relationship of the Umoisa Olam with the Rebbeinu Shalom is an Ava Talui B'Dava, meaning that when they behave correctly, they are loved. The relationship of Am Yisrael with the Rebbeinu Shalom is a love which calls an Ava Atzmusis, a essential love that is a love of the being, not of the external layers to the being. You with me? So just in response to your question with Michael, is that learning these ideas, and they're so foreign to so many people that basically everyone I talk to, these ideas are so foreign to, and the minute we start talking about them, they resonate so deeply with everyone because they're such true ideas, is once we start understanding the concept of a person, now we can start actually loving the person as opposed to the things about the person. And it flips on its head, because it becomes that when a person has got unlovable traits or is more difficult to love, then you can really attach yourself to the person much more easily because you're not distracted by the fanfare of their praiseworthiness, of their attractiveness, etc. That's why it's difficult for very attractive people to have relationships, deep relationships with each other, because it's so difficult to not get caught up in the beauty of the person and to go to the person. That's the same with intellect. That's the same with humor. That's the same with kind nature. With all of these things, they can actually be distractions to the person. In most cases, they are distractions to the person. They need to be conduits to get to the person, not a distraction from the person. So Kol Zman, we don't even know that there's a person there. We've never learned this idea of the binary nature of the actual existence of the person. Then all there is the traits, and all there is the kindness, and all there is the behaviors. But once we realize that there's a yichud underneath all of that, that's the actual person themselves, now we've got a real opportunity to actually have a relationship with them as opposed to a relationship with me. It's just like it's difficult to say this, but it's just like this. If a man loves his wife for her money, yeah, that's like him saying, I love pizza. He doesn't love pizza. He loves the taste that pizza, he loves the experience that pizza gives him. So when a man marries his wife for her money, yeah, then that's obviously the same thing. But what about when a man marries his wife for her midas? She's got good midas. Is that different?
Similar
It's
thing.
the same thing.
On the ultimate level, it's the same thing. Yes. We are going through the midas to the person. The kindness, her kindness is a lovely midah. It's a wonderful midah. But we want to go through the kindness to the person. We can enjoy the midah, just like we can enjoy our wife's beauty, or we can even enjoy our wife's money. There's nothing, a man marries a woman who's rich. Yeah, so great. He's like, okay, now he gets to drive a nice car. You can enjoy her money. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's not what it's about. The money is a means to her. That's a way through to her as opposed to a distraction from her.
So how do we find the person?
The person, exactly, this is the whole point, is the person is underneath. The person is there's no, finding the person means not getting distracted by all these concentric layers. You can't actually, the person's there. There's no kind of finding the person. There's just, it's like bris milah. The whole mosh is bris milah, is you remove the klipa. That's exactly the avodah of the yid, is to remove all of the nourishkeit, all of the wrong ideas about Hashem. You can't say anything about Hashem in the same way you can't really say anything about your wife. There's the fact that your wife exists, her existence, the essence of who she is. And when we're talking about the Rebbeinu Shalom, from our perspective, there isn't that much difference. Everything's nichlar in Hashem's existence, but you can't say anything about your wife, the essence of your wife. It's too holy for that. It's too real. So we're trying to move these concentric, to not get deluded by them. Again, you can enjoy them. Yeah, but they're meant to be meant to allow us to attach ourselves to the person. And that's really what marriage is. So we got a little bit sidetracked, but I think that was worth talking about.